Yeah, well, this is a great conference to talk about the future of technology, and I think crypto and AI are probably the two most exciting technology trends happening right now. And so people are all wondering what is going to be the intersection of these two things. I actually think they're going to have a pretty important intersection. You know, AI agents are increasingly doing more and more tasks and work for us, and they're going to need a way to pay for things. And whether that's your AI assistant booking you a plane ticket or a hotel, or it's an AI software engineer who needs to go pay for Amazon Web Services or GitHub, they're going to need to get through paywalls. And so there's this concept of agentic commerce, which is emerging, where essentially AI agents need to go pay for things. Now, in the traditional financial world, you might have a credit card, but all the rules around this is based around know your customer rules, where you have to collect your ID and everything. And so I don't think banks are going to be issuing credit cards directly to AI agents. And so they're either going to have to use your card on your behalf, which raises lots of questions about if they do something you didn't intend, you know, who's responsible for the chargeback, or they're going to get to use crypto payments. And so, you know, Coinbase has been trying to help push the frontier here. We actually released an open source project called Agent Kit, which allows any LLM AI agent to have a crypto wallet. And now they're starting to pay for things online. We're making it easier for merchants like Shopify to accept crypto payments. And in the near future, hopefully that includes AI agents that are able to go check out in any e-commerce flow. So that's one area where I think AI and crypto are going to come together. There's a couple other areas that are interesting, like people creating digital content, whether that's images, audio, video. They often want to establish digital provenance and prove that, you know, this was published by a certain journalist or it was published by this individual person. And on blockchain, you can actually digitally sign every piece of content and trace it back to the original person, like cryptographically prove it came from that person. It might, you know, it's not a deep fake or something like that. So there's lots of areas people are exploring, and I think it'll be an exciting trend.
It looks and sounds fascinating to me. I'm not an expert, but I see a lot of potential for this relationship, even addressing some of the concerns that one might have here and there about new technologies, I would say. One recent development in the crypto world is stablecoins.
Mm-hmm.
It has created some momentum of its own. How do you see things going on stablecoins?
Yeah, so stablecoins are having a huge moment right now. Last year, the total payment volume in stablecoins grew 300%. The total market cap of stablecoins is up 50% year over year. And what we're seeing is that in all categories of payments, whether it's B2B payments, remittance payments, e-commerce payments, peer-to-peer payments, people are starting to use stablecoins. Now, why is that? Well, it's that the payment rails in crypto are more efficient. You can kind of look at how fast they settle, for what cost, and how global they are. And across those three dimensions, you can, in crypto stablecoins, you can now send a payment anywhere in the world in under 1 second for less than 1 cent US. So I believe it's the only payment rail that checks all three of those boxes. There's a lot of them that check 2 out of 3, but crypto, I think, is the most, you can now credibly say it's the most efficient payment rail in the world. And so payments are like water flowing to the path of least resistance. More and more payments are going to flow on stablecoin rails over time. And we actually believe that the majority of transactions in the economy are eventually going to run on stablecoin rails. So Coinbase is making a big push in this direction. We launched products recently for small and medium-sized businesses, a powerful set of payment stablecoin APIs. We announced a partnership with Shopify where millions of Shopify merchants can now accept USDC on Base, which is one of the layer 2 solutions out there. And we even launched, you know, a Bitcoin credit card so people can pay with crypto and get 4% back in Bitcoin, right? So we're trying to tackle all areas of payments, and that's a very important area where crypto can update the financial system.
Amazing future ahead of us. What about Web3? I understand that the infrastructure is maturing, but it's not yet mainstream. What are the prospects for Web3?
Yeah, so you know, crypto started as an asset class that people wanted to trade. It's now updating financial services, which I just talked about with payments and stablecoins. And this third category we call Web3. It's actually allowing people to build new types of applications on the internet. And so a few of the pieces have started to come together. This is probably the newest area of crypto, but there's some of the building blocks have been things like decentralized identity. It's more scalable blockchains. And now we're seeing people create things like decentralized social media apps or prediction markets, things that aren't even directly related to financial services at all. So this is another exciting area that crypto, I think, can create new kinds of business models. It can ensure that content creators and artists get paid directly. They don't have all these middlemen taking fees. Like if you look at the traditional social media companies, 95% of the economics went to the platform and like 5% to the creators. In decentralized social media, I think it could flip this on its head, and 95% of the economics is going directly to the creators, 5% to the platform. There's just one last piece I'll mention on this, which is, in the EU, data privacy is a very big topic with GDPR, and I think that crypto has a lot to offer here. Sometimes the big tech companies, if they control your identity online and all of your data, in the crypto world, you're going to have a decentralized identity that gives you full control of what data is connected to that. And there are also going to be these things called zero-knowledge proofs, where if I need to prove that I'm an EU citizen or prove that I'm over 21 years old, you can actually certify this on-chain without revealing that information to another third party to try to, who might lose your data or get hacked, right? So these are things that I think crypto can help improve, and Web3 is another exciting category.
That's a great point that links to a question I wanted to ask you. How do you see crypto, how do you see Coinbase in particular, helping Europe in terms of its own competitiveness in a very competitive market?
Yeah, well, I think crypto, again, it started with trading, now it's going to payments. I think a couple other areas of financial services are really important that could help Europe remain competitive. One of them is around capital formation. How do people raise money for their next tech startup or real estate development, or really anything that they want to do? And people are now starting to create tokenized securities on-chain with crypto, and it can make the process of fundraising a lot easier. For any of you who are startup entrepreneurs, you probably know how difficult it is to fundraise. The early days of Coinbase, we went around and did like 30 meetings and got 28 people who said no, and then 2 people said yes to write that first seed check. It was a very difficult process. If we could have recorded a video and put it online and just raised our money that way, it would have been a lot easier. And so I think capital formation is going to get a lot efficient. Also, access to credit markets. There's a lot of countries in the world where people can't get access to credit to start a business or buy a home or buy a car. And I think we're seeing now on-chain lending become a big thing. Coinbase launched a product about 150 days ago for on-chain lending, and it's now at about $400 million of loans outstanding. So we're seeing on-chain lending grow really well as well. So I think these are all areas that Europe can lean in. And there was an anecdote I heard. I felt very welcomed by the Luxembourg government and everybody from the PM to the Crown Prince, to the finance minister, and everyone has been so welcoming. And I hope you don't mind me sharing the story because I think it's public already. But the finance minister shared with me that Luxembourg actually, put a tokenized government bond on chain, or they're in the process of doing that with, I think, another firm that's helping. And what an amazing, innovative step. Like that's something I haven't seen in Europe or in Asia, or sorry, in the United States or in Asia. And I think, that's an example of Luxembourg leading as a tech innovator, putting treasuries or government bonds on chain and issuing them. So anyway, lots of good areas that it can help Europe remain competitive.
So we are at the right place here, right? For that matter.
I agree. Luxembourg is leading, I think, in Europe on this front.
And my last question is about the outside world. So Coinbase is a global company. Mm-hmm. How do you see your global strategy developing these days?
Well, we want to bring crypto and economic freedom to people all over the world. And we started in the US, but Europe is now a major market for us. And we have offices in Singapore and in London and all over the world at this point. Ultimately, we want to bring this technology to all the developed economies of the world, and we'll probably have offices and local investments, hopefully more and more in Luxembourg here over time. But we also want to bring crypto to emerging markets. These are some of the places where people have the least good options in terms of financial services. They're paying the highest fees to send money. And so we have our primary app is the Coinbase app, which is a custodial product. It requires us to go get licenses, work with regulators, bank partners in each country. We also have a self-custodial wallet, which is very important to reach emerging markets, places like Nigeria or Turkey that have very high inflation, places like Argentina. And so we're bringing our self-custodial wallet to maybe 100 countries at the same time, and I think that's going to be the best way to bring those services there.
Okay, Brian, thank you very much. Join me in thanking Brian Armstrong for sharing his views on Coinbase and cryptocurrency.
We should mention
The announcement too.
But there's something going on which we cannot, totally disclose yet. But you're on track for something important, right?
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone in the Luxembourg, the regulator and the government here. They've been incredibly welcoming, and it believes that we're on track to get our license here for Mika in the next few weeks. So that will be a very exciting milestone. Yeah, and that will help us invest more in the region. Hopefully we'll have about 22 people here by the end of the year, and then it can just grow from there. And we hope to have a very long, prosperous relationship with Luxembourg.
So you get the news from the source. Thank you very much, all of you.